What's up, YouTube? This is YL Walker, and I am back with another video. So thank you guys for joining me. If you're new here, then thanks for popping in. If you have been here before, thank you so much for coming back. My channel is called Life, Love, and I do this every time. Lots, Love, Life, and I don't even know what the hell my channel is called. Locks, Love, and Living Life on Purpose, or Love, Locks, Living Life on Purpose. Either way, whatever the channel is called, I am back with another video today. Y'all have to please bear with me, because when I tell you that my mind is everywhere but probably where it should be, that is the God honest truth. So anywho, today's video, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about grief and grieving and how it can affect us on a day-to-day basis. For those who may not know, I am currently grieving my husband, who passed away on March 11th, 2022. A month and 8 days now he has been gone. And this has been some type of journey for sure. But before I get deep into the video, please make sure that you hit the like button. If this is content that interests you, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button so that you can get notified of my future videos. Also, please excuse the background noise, as I am currently driving home from work. So that is what you're hearing, okay? So anyway, like I said, I am currently grieving my husband. He and I would have been married 10 years on July 6, 2022. But like I said, he passed away on March 11th, 2022, which was actually a month and 8 days ago that my husband passed away. My husband passed away because he had a cyst that burst, and he had a lot of internal bleeding. And so with the cyst that burst on top of his already extensive health issues, it was just too traumatic for his body, for his being. And it was his time, and he departed. And so that's the gist of it. I'll probably do a video a little bit later going more into detail in regards to what happened. But that's the gist of it. He had a cyst that burst on his left kidney, and he had a lot of internal bleeding. Okay? So, man, if you have never dealt with grief, if you've never lost a spouse or a close friend, a fiance, a boyfriend, a mother, a father, sister, brother, I can honestly tell you this is pain, day-to-day pain, that I don't wish on anyone at all. Grief is a bitch, okay? And I say that, you know, with everything that I have within me, because there are some days where I literally cannot function. Now, everybody deals with grief differently. Some people, you know, don't deal with it at all. Some people suppress it. Some people can deal with it fairly well, and then some people just have a total breakdown. And then there's people like me who some days I can deal with it and have a pretty decent day, and then some days I am a complete wreck, and probably in the worst mood and worst mindset at times. Because when you have spent, my husband and I would be married 10 years in July, but we've been together 11 years. And so when you have spent 11 years of your life with one person, sleeping with that person, being intimate with that person, laughing with that person, talking with that person, joking with that person, just being silent with that person, making plans, future plans with that person, putting kids through, high school, and, living life. You're living life with this person, and all of a sudden, unexpectedly, that person is no longer here. It hits you in a way that some people can't deal with, and or don't know how to deal with, and no grief is easy. But for me, I've never dealt with, I've dealt with someone in my family passing. I had an aunt that passed some years ago. I think it was 2006. So I've dealt with people in my family passing, but I've never dealt with someone so close to me passing away. Okay? I've never dealt with somebody who I was intimate with passing away. Somebody who I had planned to spend the rest of my life with passing away. And even just now in speaking those words, my heart hurts. Like literally, my heart hurts. And I don't know any other way to explain it other than my physical heart hurts me to know that I'll never hear my husband's voice. I'll never hold his hand again. I'll never kiss him again. We'll never make love again. We'll never, have another disagreement. Just the smallest things, We'll never take a shower together again. We'll never go fishing again. It's just small things that I'll never be able to do with my forever person, or who I believed in my heart to be my forever person. And it hurts my heart because this is who was for me, And so I have my days where I just want to lay in my bed and I don't want to move. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to be bothered with anybody. I just want to lay in my bed and look at pictures of my husband, look at videos of my husband, and cry my heart out. And on those days, that is exactly what I do. And then I have days where I may go to the cemetery a couple times a day. Just go out there and talk to him and sing to him, and and then I have those days where I'm functional. I can function. I can, get up and go to work and clean up and wash clothes and do everything I need to do around the house and cook or whatever. I have those days as well. It really just depends. For me, my grief comes whenever. As a matter of fact, today or this morning, I woke up and said good morning to my husband, as I do every morning. But for some reason, I kept saying it. And it was like every time I said it, I would pause because I'm listening for him to say his normal good morning, babe. And I didn't get that. And I haven't gotten that in, the past month and 8 days. But today I was earnestly listening for him to say good morning, babe. And he didn't get it. And that set my mood for pretty much majority of the day, because I was just like, that's something I'm never going to hear again. It's his good morning, babe, his I love you, babe, or and it's rough. That's really rough. And then at work, of course, I'm emotional and looking at pictures and and stuff, and I'm sitting at my desk crying because I'm missing my husband. And then within, I'll say maybe a couple hours, I am able to get up, go to the bathroom, and get myself together and be partially okay to where I can finish doing my work, doing my job, what I'm getting paid for to pay bills, right? So grief is very hard for different people. I'm reading this book. It's called The Hot Young Widows Club by Nora McInerny, I think is how it's pronounced. And it says Lessons on Survival from the Front Lines of Grief. This is really a really good book. So if you are somebody who's going through the grieving process, then this is a really good book to read. And it's crazy because as I'm reading through the book, the author, her husband who passed away, his name is Aaron, and my husband's name is Aaron. And so I was just like, seriously, like, really? So anywho, but yeah, like I said, grief is, you know, it for me, and again, I keep saying for me because it hits people differently, right? So for me, grief, it just, the emotions come anywhere. And I was talking with one of my girlfriends who actually lost her husband, I think about 6 months ago. And she was just saying, or we were just talking about just not understanding, right? Not understanding none of this. Not that we're questioning God, because I'm definitely not doing that, because I firmly believe that everything happens the way it's supposed to. I firmly believe that, you know, God's plans for our lives is not our plans for our lives. He has those plans. He has his plans, and his plans are perfect regardless of what they may be. I firmly believe that his plans are perfect. Excuse me. And so we were just talking about not understanding, like, none of this. And I can say for myself, like, some of the thoughts that I have, I don't understand why I'm having these particular thoughts. I don't understand why some days I just want to be through with all of this, you know, like I don't want to cry no more, I don't want to grieve no more, I don't want to nothing. And then in a split second, all I want is to sit up in my bed and cry, you know. There are some days where I just want to move on with my life, you know. And then there's some days where I say, I'll never move on with my life. I'll never find another person to who will love me, or who I would even allow to love me, right? I have those conversations with myself where I don't understand, like on my counter by the sink, I still have my husband's toothbrush sitting there. I still have my husband's deodorant. I still have my husband's cologne in the closet. I still have his clothes hanging up. I still have his shoes. I still have, you know, like he used a particular bar soap. I still have the bar soap in the shower. I still have his baseball cap sitting on the dresser. Like, there are certain things of his that I haven't moved, I haven't packed up, I haven't done anything. And then there are some days where I'm just like, I need to pack up all this stuff, because all of these memories that I'm looking at are driving me insane. And I don't understand, like, how on one point I can say I need to get rid of all this stuff, and then 2 minutes later it's like, no, I can't get rid of anything. And I know that's all part of the grieving and the emotions and all of that stuff, but I'm telling you, some days I don't understand, like, the thoughts that I be having. I don't understand, because I've never grieved like this before. I've never lost a piece of me like this before, you know. And so it's hard. And one thing that I strongly recommend anyone who may be going through the grieving process is, you know, journal. I'm actually in the process of creating a grief journal. And it's actually love letters to the one that I loved and I lost. And so it's a journal where I can sit down and write love letters to my husband, and just tell him, you know, my everyday happenings, what's going on, how I'm feeling, just as though he and I would normally talk on our day-to-day. You know, this time I'm just able to write it out. So I'm actually in the process of creating that journal that I'll have on Amazon for anybody who may wish to buy or purchase it or what have you. And then, but I strongly suggest anyone who's grieving to journal, to write out your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions, and to not hold that stuff in. I also strongly suggest grief counseling. That could help you tremendously. I actually had my first session over the weekend, Saturday, my first session of grief counseling. I suggest you get into some Facebook groups. Now, I will say this, pick and choose which Facebook groups you get into, because I was in one and I was more depressed looking, reading over the different posts. So I had to get out of that Facebook group because that was not for me. Yes, I know that people are going to talk about their husbands. This was a spousal grief group, right? And so of course everybody, and it was for women, so of course everybody had lost their husbands or what have you. But I ended up having to get out of that group because I was getting more and more depressed, because every post was just about the hurt and the pain, and it wasn't necessarily many posts about upliftment and trying to get through the process as best as we could. And so that particular group didn't work for me, but that doesn't mean that it won't work for you, because everybody's different. But I needed something that wasn't going to put me in a deep depression, because that's what I'm trying to avoid, is falling into a deep depression, because that doesn't benefit me, nor does it benefit my family, my children, my grandchildren. And I still have to be able to function day to day, because all of the bills and so forth are now solely on me now that my husband has passed. So anyway, I'm right at 16 minutes. I'm not going to make this video long, but I would definitely encourage anyone who's going through grief, like I said, to journal. To openly talk about it. Like, try not to hold it in. Openly talk about it. I know that's another thing that works, that helps me. Get into grief counseling if you feel like it's something that will assist you and that you need, and get into some grief groups, even on Facebook or on what's the other thing, Clubhouse, or find some type of local grief counseling group counseling that you can get involved in as well. Also, another thing that I found helped me is helping other people. I'm in a group on Facebook called Wife Code, and I think 2 or 3 days after my husband had passed, a lady in there had announced that her husband had passed. And so I reached out to her just to let her know that I understood what she was going through. My husband had passed a couple of days prior, so forth and so on. And we have just been kind of messaging back and forth, checking on each other, keeping each other encouraged. And that helps me. So there's many different things that you can do to assist with your grief. One thing that I strongly suggest you to never do is to try and suppress it or act as though you're not grieving, because all that's going to happen is all of that grief is going to just bubble up. It's going to sit there and pile on top of each other until you explode. And that exploding could be very detrimental to yourself, to your health, or to those who are close to you. So you definitely don't want to do that. So if you are grieving and you feel like you want to reach out to me, feel free to message me in the comments. I definitely don't have a problem reaching out and talking back with you. By no means am I an expert. Like I said, I am a month and 8 days into this journey. I don't know everything. I could possibly never know everything, because everybody's journey is different. However, I am free and here and open to talk with anyone who may be going through it, because I'm sure we could probably help each other. All right. Well, thank you again for joining me. I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.